say that, in my opinion, looking forward at all the different cryptocurrencies that are currently in the top 10, NEO is certainly one of the technologies that I am paying closest attention to. Now, there's a lot of different reasons that support my interest in NEO. Now, one of those fundamental reasons is the fact that China is a global superpower economically, one of the biggest economies in the world, arguably one of the most influential in regards to the current paradigm that we're experiencing now. Obviously, all these different things are subject to change, but moving forward, it's pretty unquestionable the fact that China has such a substantial foot in the door when it comes to technologies and so forth. So you would expect, when it comes to cryptocurrency and when it comes to these different technologies of tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of preparation taken and implemented when the Chinese get themselves involved with the world of tomorrow and so forth. So in a lot of respects, the Chinese are very much further ahead in regards to the adoption of cryptocurrencies, and obviously every nation has their own way of getting used to cryptocurrencies, getting their foot in the door when it comes to them. And I think that the China approach to this sort of thing is really unprecedented, and there's definitely a lot of substantial growth opportunity, especially being shown with the current state of affairs regarding cryptocurrency. Now, obviously, when you look at the top 10, there's quite a bit of red today. However, NEO is just having an all-out incredible day, up 17.71. And of course, when you look at how the different technologies are performing, NEO is the only one in those top ranking positions that's actually competing for today's 24-hour change. And of course, gas up there as well. Really interesting to see the different developments that have been happening along the lines of NEO and its relationship with different technologies as we've continued to move forward. And I think through NEO, we're definitely witnessing a significant paradigm shift happening in the world of cryptocurrency. And it's definitely really exciting to be seeing all these different things happening in the world of crypto. And of course, all these different variables are going to be impacting one another. Obviously, having Bitcoin where it currently is at that $9,437 mark, well, Bitcoin's going to be sending an impact through the entire cryptocurrency community based on the name recognition and all the different variables that have come to support in Bitcoin's favor. Now, the reason why I bring this up is the fact that Bitcoin is early. It's got that advantage of having the first step of getting the public consciousness adjusted to the idea of digital currencies. Now, does that make it significantly the best? Not necessarily. I think that NEO definitely has the potential to outperform a lot of these other technologies in the long run, as we see what NEO is capable of. When it comes to Ethereum, definitely in particular, Ethereum's already up and running, up with the 693, but you have to understand that Ethereum is already active, and NEO has a little bit more room to grow in regards to adjusting itself to the current situation. So in that respect, I would say that it's not entirely out of the question to see the fact that as NEO continues to move forward, we could be seeing it outperforming the other technologies to a large extent. Now, I've been expecting this big jump to be happening with NEO for quite some time, especially in the light of the current situation, the way that the market has been acting. We saw a lot of NEO's value being lost along the way as we've traveled to reach this point where we are at right now. We all remember the good old days when NEO was at its all-time highs back around January. However, the entire crypto sphere, the entire cryptocurrency community, in regards to the different evaluations of these technologies, well, it was entirely in a different position back then as well. And that was honestly a kind of an awkward time for Neo to be reaching its all-time highs, in respect to the fact that the entire downward trend that we've been seeing. However, it is also something to be taken into consideration when you look at the fact that we've been moving from this point. I mean, there was such a significant amount of growth, and a lot of hype happening in the crypto world, and then we saw a lot of people losing their faith, so now, right in this time, we're witnessing a resurgence of the cryptocurrency paradigm. Now, if I were to make a prediction, I would say that the graph is probably going to be looking a lot like this perspective that we're seeing right here, with a lot of this sort of upward and downward mobility. And right now, obviously we're in an upward trend. We're witnessing a lot of these different technologies flexing their muscles. We're getting really into the next half of 2018, and there's a lot of demand for these technologies to be out competing one another, and this is going to take performance capabilities as well as the different reputations that they've developed along the way. And substantially everything that's happened before involving cryptocurrency is compiling into this one essential moment, where we're essentially seeing and it's going to all come together in respect to the time period that's going to be this summer. I think that this summer is really going to be a really pivotal moment in regards to seeing these technologies and how they continue to move forward. And I'm definitely excited to be seeing all these different things as they've continued to be happening. And yeah, just reading the chat for a second here. Looks like a lot of you have a positive idea when it comes to Neo. I guess I'd expect the audience to have a positive perspective when it comes to Neo if you're out searching for videos regarding Neo, but that's not necessarily a fact. I mean, there could be people who are interested in Neo who are watching and trying to discover about it, because Neo is an interesting technology. I'm definitely excited to be seeing how the Chinese are going to be interacting with the world of cryptocurrency and moving us forward into the world of tomorrow. You have to consider the fact that your phone became a smartphone. Your car will someday become a smart car if it's not already. Your house, smart technologies being implemented into every single aspect that's possible, every level of society having different elements being introduced to it. It's called the Internet of Things. So the fact that Neo is sort of ahead of the game when it comes to this smart economy approach. China is definitely one of those bodies of power in the international stage that definitely understand the importance of staying ahead of the game, and I think they're certainly outperforming a lot of the competition when it comes to the global stage and the different variables that are coming into coordination regarding how these different things are going to be moving forward and so forth. And particularly, I am interested in Deep Brain Chain as well. Has been having a really interesting day as well, up to 11.9, which is really significant, and I'm sure it's happening alongside Neo flexing its muscles. A lot of these, Neo really does have a good package of technologies that seem to all be working towards a similar goal. Deep Brain Chain in particular, with the artificial intelligence aspect of this community, and then of course other variables being covered by multiple different aspects of Neo. And as we continue to progress and move forward in regress to that sort of in regards to the blockchain and the technology that's provided, and like I said, they are learning from a lot of the different variables that have been set up by the technologies that have sort of blazed the trail ahead of them. And all that being said, I would say that as we move forward and we see this demand for the newer ways of doing things, we're going to see technologies like Neo outperforming a lot of the different competition. Now, there's a substantial reason why Neo's in that number 9 position, and I think that there's definitely an opportunity there for Neo to rise and perhaps even overtake Ethereum one day. I mean, I'm not going to be the first person to say that, but I'm not going to be the last. And I mean, Ethereum is doing its own thing. I think that Ethereum is certainly has a lot of room to develop as we continue to move forward and so forth. And I'm definitely excited in seeing all these different things this person doesn't like Neo. And hey, everybody should have their own opinion. I mean, would you like to tell us why? I'll check back to see the comment in a second, but it is interesting to see Neo. I mean, if you're not already following Neo on their Twitter, I would definitely recommend that you do so, particularly if you're interested in Neo. Twitter really is a great resource when it comes to staying up to date regarding these technologies. And I think that when it comes to Neo, well, like I always say, my analysis of these technologies is fundamentally data driven. And when it comes to Neo, it's really checking off a lot of those boxes when it comes to all the things that I look for in a cryptocurrency. Because when I look at this list of the top 10 cryptos, for example, I always think to myself, how are these technologies going to be interacting with the real world and interacting in a way that's going to actually have physical an actual product that's going to be manifesting itself. And the economy is something that's always happening on all levels. So when you consider the fact that Neo is moving into implement cryptocurrency technology into that, I think that Neo will definitely be a trailblazer in regards to the new way of doing things. We are experiencing a paradigm shift when it comes to cryptocurrency, and there's a lot of different variables that are subject to change as we continue to move forward. But of course, seeing this sort of upward mobility, particularly when it comes to Neo, I mean, who can argue that? I mean, that's sexy right there. You know, it's nice to see the fact that Neo is moving up in value. And yeah, of course, I mean, seeing yeah, what is everybody saying in the chat? You'll be sorry. Yeah, so I mean, I would say that looking forward, those of us who've been believers in the Neo technology will ultimately witness this paradigm shift. I mean, I call Neo the Chinese Bitcoin. I don't even bother calling it the Chinese Ethereum. I think that Neo has that potential to, because when you consider, I mean, I know that Bitcoin is only basically a placeholder. It doesn't necessarily have that smart contracts element introduced to it to the fullest extent, and then that's why people would relate Neo to Ethereum, because they do such a similar job. However, I think that Neo definitely does have the potential to, well, I mean, you remember the movie The Matrix, and you remember what Neo did in that movie. Chinese government exclusive platform. See, that's one of the fundamental things that I've been saying is that if the Chinese government is going to attach themselves in any particular way to one of these different technologies, looking forward in regards to how the Chinese economy has been developing and everything, I mean, there is a lot to be said, but of course, I mean, I think that we're not entirely out of the woods when it comes to that correction that we were currently going through. I would say that people have been a little bit overly optimistic when it comes to seeing this sort of upward mobility. Now, hey, I'm not complaining. I'd like to see this upward mobility continue and possibly even take us to the moon. I mean, I'd love to see that happen right now. But you also have to remember, I mean, there has been various levels of false hope. I mean, I'm sure back in February, around that time, February 6th, people were starting to think that in between the period of February 6th to February 20th, people were pretty much thinking that this was going to be the big escape from the downward trend that we've been experiencing for the past couple of months. And then, of course, we had to witness it going back down to this level right here in April, and now we're starting to move back up. But of course, I would say that I'd have to see some substantial upward momentum being represented in the totality of the community for a number of months before I would safely say that there's a lot of potential to be seeing a mass adoption wave happening. But of course, it is happening on all levels of society, whether we like it or not. We're seeing different cryptos establishing themselves with different household names, different financial systems and so forth, and getting themselves adjusted to the future that's going to be involved with Neo and so forth. So there are a lot of different variables coming into coming into the light in regards to NEO, and witnessing the path that it's been providing for us. I'm definitely excited to be seeing these different variables as they've been coming together. And yeah, I mean, looking at EOS for a quick second, I mean, EOS has been pretty impressive lately too. I mean, that pretty much goes without saying. It is pretty amazing to be seen. But of course, all these different platforms that provide a similar service to EOS are going to be taking the limelight as we continue to move forward. It's pretty inevitable. But of course, I've always said that any one of the cryptos, basically within the top 100, it's pretty much anybody's guess, which is why I would always recommend that you do all the research that's available to you, because in the world of cryptocurrency, knowledge is power. You see, having a bit of foresight regarding what any one of these different technologies is going to be doing in relationship to the shifting paradigm that we're currently experiencing, well, that could be $1 million worth of knowledge right there without you knowing it. So when it comes to cryptocurrency, I'm definitely excited to be seeing the things that are happening in the future, NEO in particular. Also, when it comes to the fact that simply by holding NEO in the Neon wallet is a way to accumulate gas, and you have to take that type of value into consideration. How many other cryptocurrencies on here are offering that sort of compensation just for holding their technology in their wallet? It's sort of like interest, and that's definitely interesting moving forward to see that sort of I think that sort of system will be adopted even further as we continue to move forward, and we see these different supply and demand and so forth, and the challenges that are being faced. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to be seeing all these different variables as they've been coming together. And of course, yeah, like I said, remember to follow NEO on their official Twitter, and of course remember to follow me on my Twitter, that's at CryptoTuber. If you're not already following me on Twitter, make sure that you do so that you could share with me any information that you might find interesting and so forth. And yeah, the link to my Twitter is right down there in the description. And I think it's awesome that we have such a great community that's been growing on this channel, because we are so early when it comes to cryptocurrency. I know I say this all the time, but it needs to be said that seeing these technologies where they are right now, this is the infant stage. These are babies. All these technologies, we could see some of these technologies could disappear, some of them could rise up to the top, and there's so many different shifting variables happening while we move from the world of today into the world of tomorrow. So we're essentially in an advantageous time right now where we have this opportunity of taking our time and doing our research in regards to all these different technologies. And I would say that we have some of the strongest, smartest people on this channel right now in this chat. Pat yourselves on the back right now, because I think we have some of the smartest people on the internet, essentially coming together and sharing all of our different information regarding cryptocurrencies and so forth. So I'm definitely excited to be seeing how the community has been growing, and how everybody on this channel has been getting along and making all these different friends and sharing information and so forth. And I'm always happy to be shouting out different YouTube channels. I'm actually going to give a shout out to the CryptoTwins. Now, I know these guys have another YouTube channel where they do like workout videos and stuff, but they've actually decided to move over to a new platform and call themselves the CryptoTwins. And I think these guys are really awesome. I know they're not exactly the highest IQ, but when it comes to just hearing, I mean, I like to hear anybody talk about cryptocurrency, and I think that so I'll definitely give these guys a shout out. You can find a link to their channel down in the description down below. I'll give them a subscription as well. But yeah, I think that any technology with a blockchain, any cryptocurrency that has this sort of roadmap set out in front of it, especially in particular when it comes to NEO, there is a lot lot of potential in store for this technology. China is not going anywhere. The way that China continues to develop as a global superpower is only going to have residual effects upon the overall destiny that we see happening for NEO in the near future. So there is a lot to be said in that regard, and I think that Ethereum is going to be given a run for its money pretty soon, because the smart economies are coming, and we're going to be seeing a lot of different things. And of course, I'm giving a shout out to DataDash as well. I know not many people have mixed opinions regarding DataDash, but he talks about the possibility that people should be paying attention to NEO in 1 month, in the month of May, and I think that this is really valuable advice right here, talking about the fact that that moving forward we're going to be seeing a lot of different variables coming together, in particular when it comes to NEO's the deals that they've been striking across the board. A lot of really exciting things happening in regards to NEO. So yeah, all that being said, remember, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. I'll never be your dad, no matter how much you guys want me to be your dad. I'll never be your dad. But I think that don't reference the DataDash. All right, fine. I know, like I said, a lot of people have mixed opinions about every cryptocurrency YouTuber out there, but I'm just saying that you should well, I mean, hey, I'll listen, like I said, I'll listen to anybody, because I think that I mean, I don't trust anybody. I don't take anybody's seriously, so I can listen to people like DataDash and get information, because everybody knows something, and if you listen to everybody and you pay attention to the facts, you can tell the bullshit from the informative information. So as a result, I would say I'd listen to anybody's opinion regarding these, and this is all my opinion, which is the whole point that I'm trying to get across with this point. But I mean, looking at the different news regarding NEO, it is awesome to see how the public consciousness has been adapting to the future of this technology, and seeing all the different variables that have been coming into alignment in regards to NEO. And I think we're looking forward into the future when it comes to this technology, and I think that it's exciting to be seeing how NEO has been rising to the top. But of course, all that being said, yeah, I mean, we're definitely in an interesting paradigm shift when it comes to cryptocurrency as a full medium and so forth. So a lot of different exciting things happening across the board, and yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. And yeah, on this channel we've actually been let's check out the Social Blade for a second here. Yeah, so on Social Blade, our the live subscriber count, if my internet will, all right, everybody. Yeah, we've recently reached a new milestone of 18,000 subscribers. So I just like to thank everybody on this channel who has helped us contribute and get up to this 18,000 subscriber mark. And I think that it's really awesome to see. Hopefully we can get 18,000 more subscribers in such a short amount of time. I see we just got a new subscriber, so thank you very much. That's 18,116 currently, as it currently stands. And like I said, it's awesome to see this community growing so quickly. I mean, I've been interested in cryptocurrencies for a number of years, and I think that it's awesome to be taking this sort of content onto YouTube and sharing this information and my own personal perspective when it comes to these technologies, and seeing the potential that's in store for them moving forward. So yeah, I just like to thank everybody, and yeah, thanks for all the positive words and so forth. Yeah, thanks. New sub and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, moving forward, I think Neo is definitely going to be seeing a lot of interesting things happening for it, especially when it comes to the smart economy. Now, the current economy, the way that things are functioning, I think it will be obsolete. You have to understand the way that cryptocurrency is going to look, the changes that are going to be happening. It's going to look a lot like back in the day when everybody was on the subway reading the newspaper, and then all of a sudden, everybody was on the internet a few years later getting their information that way. So it's really almost unimaginable from the current perspective that we have to understand how these technologies are going to be interacting with the real world paradigm. And Neo is definitely one of those technologies that I'm excited to be seeing expanding and moving forward in such an interesting way. I mean, so many different variables surrounding Neo in respect to the way that we've experienced cryptocurrency so far. And yeah, all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Please share this content with your friends and family. And yeah, I mean, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.